And now over to Gaurav Sawant for a very special telecast of a special Sunday with the armed forces paying a special tribute. Gaurav, over to you.
Pooja, thank you very much. Hello and welcome to an India Today special broadcast that comes to you from Delhi. The nation came together to pay respects to our frontline corona warriors. The Army, the Navy, the Air Force and the Coast Guard. You had fighter jets flying in the sky, you had transport aircraft and helicopters, you had military bands outside government hospitals and COVID hospitals paying respects to our frontline corona warriors. And even as we speak, you have Indian Navy ships lined up along the coast at prominent ports and other harbours. Mumbai, Porbandar, Karwar, Thiruvananthapuram, Cochin Coast, Tamil Nadu, Chennai Port, the famous Marina Beach, and across the length and breadth of our coastline as a mark of respect to our brave corona warriors.
Flypasts, floral tributes from Srinagar to Hyderabad, Mumbai to Thiruvananthapuram, an honor from the sky by the Indian Air Force. The gesture of thanks started with laying of flowers by the chiefs of the Army, Navy and Air Force at the Police Memorial in Delhi on Sunday morning to honor police personnel deployed to enforce the nationwide lockdown. Indian Air Force then flew its helicopters over Rajpath as a tribute to all corona warriors.
It was truly a spectacular sight when India's most potent weapon platforms, the Su-30 MKI, the Jaguar deep penetration strike aircraft and the MiG-29 air superiority fighters lined up at Rajpath and flew past India Gate. The message was very clear. The Indian Armed Forces, frontline coronavirus fighters themselves, paying respect and tributes to our doctors, nurses, sanitation workers, police personnel and other frontline coronavirus fighters.
The fighter jets dropped petals at hospitals across Delhi, including AIIMS, Sir Gangaram Hospital, among treating COVID patients. In Mumbai, fighter jets conducted a flypast over Marine Drive and showered petals over the King Edward Memorial Hospital and Kasturba Gandhi Hospital, among others. An Indian Navy helicopter showered flowers on the staff of Indian Navy's INHS Ashwini in Mumbai. The showering of petals was clearly visible from ground owing to improved visibility due to lockdown.
We are at Marine Drive and that's NCPA Nariman Point, the end of Mumbai. This is a grand display of gratitude for all the corona warriors, especially the doctors, all the healthcare workers and the police personnel of the state of Maharashtra.
Many of healthcare workers have fallen prey to the virus and hundreds have been infected. But still they have been waging a valiant fight. India's biggest tribute ever to frontline medical workers is aimed at boosting their morale in the fight against the virus. With Gaurav Sawant in Delhi, Tanushree Pandey in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
And in a moment from now, we'll be joined by Vice Admiral Ashok Kumar, the Vice Chief of Naval Staff. We will talk to him about Indian Navy's role, not just in paying tribute to our corona warriors, but also the big role that the Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force will play. 1.57 lakh Indians are in the Middle East. They want to come back. The Indian Navy is standing by to bring them back. All that and much more. But before that, the Air Force and the Army. The first flight took off from Ladakh. There was a flight at Thiruvananthapuram. So across the length and breadth of our country, from Dibrugarh in the east all the way to Kutch in the west. What was the message? That across the length and breadth of our country, our armed forces are there for our people. And incidentally, they have been doing that. They've picked up drugs and other equipment that was required from Nashik and taken them to Odisha to ensure that testing could happen in Odisha. And they've done that across the length and breadth of our country. This is how the Indian Armed Forces are coming to the aid of our people and now paying tributes to other frontline corona warriors.
is our Air Force putting India first. From heights of the Himalayas to the depths of the oceans. Air Force jets and choppers rode in the skies honouring frontline warriors in India's fight against the deadly coronavirus. Across the nation, Sukhois and MiG fighter jets along with heavy lift C-130 aircrafts gave aerial salute to COVID warriors. In Srinagar, fighter jets zoomed over the iconic Dal Lake. A country of 1.3 billion pinning their hopes on the saviours in white. Bureau Report, India Today.
So you have Indian Navy ships that have lined up at important ports and harbours to pay respects to our frontline corona warriors. Joining me on the broadcast is Vice Admiral G. Ashok Kumar, the Vice Chief of Naval Staff. Sir, welcome on India Today. As India pays respects to frontline corona warriors, there's also the issue, Admiral, of some Indian Navy personnel who tested positive and they were completely asymptomatic. What happened at INS Angre?
Well, Gaurav, as you're aware, Maharashtra is one of the states which is actually the highest in the country. So we did have cases coming up at INS Angre. In fact, it is one case which started it all on the 6th of April. So immediately the Western Naval Command reacted very well and actually quarantined the entire INS Angre. And thereafter, they actually went ahead and did tests, even on asymptomatic sailors who were resident there. And today, as we speak, we've got about 26 cases who are admitted in INHS Ashwini. But there are strict measures which are taken to ensure that there is no further spread.
Admiral, the nation really looks up to our men and women in uniform, and there's stellar role of our armed forces across our country. You're also on standby, 1.57 lakh Indians in the Middle East, INS Jalashwa and other ships on standby. What will Navy's role be, sir?
We have been asked to be ready to not only just to provide any humanitarian assistance in the situation that we are to IOR countries, but also to be prepared to evacuate our Indians who might want to come back to the country. So this is something which is being worked out by the Ministry of External Affairs in coordination with the Department of Military Affairs. The CDS, in fact, is personally coordinating this. And so the Navy is ready. The ships are loaded with the requisite medical equipment. The sailors are being quarantined for 14 days before they are put to sea. There are also medical facilities which are being set up on board. There are isolation facilities which are being created on board to keep these personnel who might embark us for a return journey to India, for them to be isolated from the crew. We are also working out what is the minimum crew that they can go on board the ship in order for the ship to go there safely and come back. So these are the actions which are being taken. So we'll just wait for further instructions and orders before we execute this plan.
Brilliant, brilliant. And the role for the Indian Navy, now that we are a blue water Navy, we have aircraft carriers, big ships. Where all are we heading out? Tri-services, a bigger role you see for the Navy, not just along the coast, but in the Indian Ocean region, sir?
Oh, plenty. Because I think this is one area where the Department of Military Affairs is coordinating the entire thing. All the three services are together in this. Every second day, there is a meeting which is chaired by the Vice Chief of Defence Staff, along with all the Vice Chiefs of the Army, Navy and the Air Force. The DGAFMS is going all out to procure what is essential requirements. In fact, they are the ones who have decided as to which are the hospitals which should be COVID hospitals across the country. And so that has been implemented. They have also asked us to create quarantine facilities at various places. Each of the commands have created quarantine facilities. And we are, I think the whole thing has been handled in a well-coordinated tri-service manner.
Admiral Ashok Kumar, Vice Chief of Naval Staff, for the moment, many thanks for joining me here on India First. The Indian Navy on standby to bring back Indians wherever they may be trapped as the government demands. Indian Navy ships have been prepared, sailors quarantined, ready to go, and separate quarantine centers set up on ships. Admiral, many thanks for speaking to us here on India Today. There is some criticism coming the way of the government. There are some who say that why is it that the Indian Armed Forces are involved, as some say, in a PR exercise? We are still fighting coronavirus. We haven't won. So what is this band Baja Bharat all about? I want to bring in Tom Vadakan, spokesperson of the BJP, for more on this. Tom Vadakan, how would you respond to those who say that the armed forces have become a PR wing of the government? There's band Baja Bharat when the war is still on against coronavirus.
Gaurav, these are people who have no idea. The moral booster that the army has delivered today to the COVID warriors across the country, from Srinagar to Trivandrum, from Goa to the other coast. It has been a tremendous message that the warriors a tribute is being paid to them. And it's no small activity. I remember a small incident reported from Trivandrum. Trivandrum General Hospital, a sanitation worker was in tears. And she said, look, till now we saluted the armed forces. Today they come down, pay us tribute, and this is a day. And she was in tears that the Indian Army, the Navy, the Air Force was paying tribute to these warriors who had put their life in stake. That is something, has nothing to do with public relations. This is about India. I'll tell you about a country which, from Wuhan, when they had this problem, they went with Air Force aircrafts, naval aircrafts to neighboring countries to threaten them. That is another thing. But here today, the unity of the country has been highlighted. And the moral booster, not only is the Army involved, the Navy involved, and the Air Force involved, to tell the country that we are behind you. And this is one of the greatest tributes we have seen in modern times.
Okay, Tom Vadakan, stay with me. Let me take this question to Sunit Chopra of the CPIM, who joins us on the broadcast. And Sunit Chopra, why would anybody say that this is band Baja Bharat? You very well know that the armed forces, military bands, have played a big role in boosting morale of people in battle. This is a war against coronavirus.
For one thing, please stop using the term war. War is where you're fighting. You have not got PPEs for doctors. You have not got PPEs for doctors. You have not got proper masks for people. What war are you fighting? Who are you fooling? Stop this nonsense. Do you know that you only need some 70 crore rupees to send all those workers who you kept in misery in this last lockdown? And you have spent more than 680 crores in this thing. So for a circus, you can spend 680 crores, but you are not prepared to give people life. They are wandering on the streets of India, lakhs of workers. So please do not.
So you are calling this a circus? You are calling what our armed forces do when they pay their respect to frontline corona warriors? For Sunit Chopra, this is circus. This is a circus. Let me take this. Let me take this to General Gurmeet Singh. He's former Srinagar Corps Commander. General Gurmeet Singh, was the flypast by the Sukhoi 30s a circus? Was the band display by the army a circus? All these Indian Navy ships who've lined up along our coastline, is that a circus, General Gurmeet Singh?
Absolutely
Sunit Chopra seems to think it's a circus.
Absolutely no. I think it was a very unique way of conveying gratitude and thanks. It is a very great method of saying we will win the war against corona. It's an excellent way to show solidarity. Solidarity to the corona warriors, from the frontline warriors. That too on a day when armed forces are so active in the assigned task of LOC, LAC and counter-terrorism. In fact, this must be understood in the right frame. In fact, I think never ever before this method has been adopted. And only those people who know the value of supreme sacrifice, who know how to fight, who know what war is all about, can convey. I would say it is from one warrior to other set of warriors who are doing their job for the nation. This conveyance was, or the aim was to communicate to the doctor, nurses, health and hygiene workers, media, police people.
Mr. Chopra, I hope you understand now.
I understand.
Mr. Chopra, I hope you understand. That is from one warrior acknowledging the valor of another warrior.
Betraying the people of India. You should be ashamed of that. You are betraying the people of India simply by creating a circus. Do not betray.
Let me take that to Tom Vadakkan. Tom Vadakkan, you heard Sunit Chopra. Sunit Chopra claims there aren't enough PPEs. He says migrant workers are traveling in cement mixers. Instead of sorting out their problems, the government has resorted to a PR exercise, he says.
The gentleman is frozen in time. The comrade does not understand the basics. We have established contact. The materials are available. There are tests being done. The frontiers are armed and provided with for the COVID warriors across the country. And they are fighting this battle. Now he says this is not a war. If this is not a war, what is? This country is fighting it valiantly, as opposed to any country in the world. The casualties, if you look at it, are so controlled. The tests are going on. He talks about migrant labor. Yes, there has been a problem, but the train services have been adopted. They have been moved out. They were given facilities. The states who were raising an issue about providing buses, the government of India has provided trains, and train services is on. This is a staggered process. You cannot let loose the public on a situation like this, because our structure will collapse. But the point here is this government has shown initiative, insight and vision. If comrade doesn't understand it, he believes it's a circus, that's his problem.
Okay, Sunit Chopra, Tom Vadakkan says it's your problem if you think it's a circus, and look at the casualties in other countries and touch wood, look at the situation in India. Aren't we much better off?
You don't even know how many people have got this disease. I wish you knew. I wish you knew. I would be grateful to you if you knew. But you
know better, sir?
You are fooling the Indian people. I do know better. I get telephone calls from people who tell me what happened when they get to the hospital. I know that. I got one call today only of two people. One was an old IAS officer and one was, in fact, a scientist. So please don't bother me with useless...
I want to understand from you, are hospitals in our country overwhelmed? Are medical staff overwhelmed? You know, you're looking at the situation overseas. You're looking at how people are being treated on roadside because they don't have enough hospitals. Are you seeing such kind of a situation in our country? Or are we, because of the lockdown, are you seeing a situation which may be better off than several other countries, including in the West?
People are on roads today because you didn't give them time. You were bloody told at 12 o'clock at night, "Kal se band hai," and the people who employed them threw them out. They gave them no food. People were dying. People were hungry. They died of hunger. Tell me that. Don't disgrace this country any more than you've done.
General, General, please respond. Is all of this tamasha a cover-up for what Sunit Chopra may claim is people are dying of hunger? He claims people are dying of hunger.
To be very honest, I would request Mr. Chopra to look at the aspect that as of today, we got 1,306 fatalities. We got 40,000 which are infected. We, on the hand, we got a war against Corona. We have to motivate our warriors. We have to convey our gratitude and thanks and be prepared for the next. Today is a very unique day. We must see it in three perspectives. One is that we have walked into lockdown 3.0. Second is that our security threats are still not over. We have seen in Handwara, I have been with this unit. I love the unit 21RR. Their commanding officers, their officers, their soldiers, SI has laid down the supreme sacrifice. That is the alertness and the preparedness with which the armed forces are working. And despite that, they have taken out the effort. And let me tell Mr. Chopra that these army bands which were playing the martial tune today to motivate
I have a special broadcast on the Handwara operation that's coming up at 9 p.m. tonight. In fact, Colonel Sharma's brave wife also joins me on the broadcast at 9 p.m. tonight. But I've run out of time on this show. But one point I will agree with our guests. Look, there still is clear and present danger. India is inching towards 40,000 coronavirus cases. That's a cause for grave concern. A big spike has been seen today, 2,600 odd cases just today. So as we end lockdown 2.0 and prepare for lockdown 3.0, we must remain very, very careful because there still is clear and present danger. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me. That is all I have time for on the show this evening. Many thanks for watching.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.